What's up? What's going on, everybody? You've now tuned into my Real Housewives of Atlanta recap. We back on and popping, you guys. Definitely make sure tomorrow that you head over to my Samore Love TV channel, because that's where, of course, Love and Hip Hop's going to be. And you know we got to talk about it. Oh. All right. So let's get right into this episode. So we start off with Cynthia. I mean, she was having some sexy time. I mean, honey child, she was taking it off and showing us that 50 looks amazing, okay? Or it can look amazing. It doesn't always look amazing. We've seen 50 in a lot of different shades, honey, a lot of different ways. You know, she just kind of like relaxing in the bathtub, just a real like intimate moment, just her alone. And she just kind of says that she does want to move forward and not just have a big lake house by herself, because ultimately that's pretty much what's going to happen. It's like, it's just her right now. She doesn't have anyone but her big empty lake house and all the animals that come around to greet her. So Porsha, she's going to have her sister stay with her now. She's in a nice big place, but her sister's having problems, I guess, with her baby daddy or whatever, you know. So she's going to be staying with her. I'm like, dang, the kid is looking so big already. I'm like, I thought I would have seen a little infant, but this kid is like, hey, saying hi and all that. She looks so adorable, though. And yeah, we're going to see how it's going to go. I mean, they kind of pushing a little bit because they work together. She's like her assistant or something. They got businesses together. I mean, they talk all the time. Now they live together. They're doing a whole lot, you know? So that can definitely push a situation. I mean, I personally, I'm a very understanding and caring person, but I can only take so much of somebody sometimes, especially because, you know, people, unless you're like the same exact person, which you can tell that they're not, they would most likely have little hiccups here and there. And at the end of the day, even though I think that Porsha is trying to kind of live vicariously through her sister, because, you know, her sister has a child and she always wanted a child. And maybe she feels like that can give her a little bit of practice. I think that she also, because she is a single woman, she likes to have her space. She's gotten used to having her space for all these years since she's been divorced from Cordell. That's his name, right? Cordell. Look at me going back into the memory banks, honey. So now Cynthia, she dates this guy named Evan or Even, something like that. But the funny thing about it, I remember his face because I've watched like every single episode of Andy Cohen's Love Connection. So I'm like, I've seen this dude before. And I remember, I don't think he was, I felt like he was kind of mean, but I can't really remember. It's a little bit faded, but I definitely remember him. But I feel like I remember him saying that he likes women with natural hair too. Like, it doesn't have to necessarily be real, but it doesn't have to necessarily be natural hair, but it has to be their own hair. Because I remember somebody had like some weave, but it was like, I don't know. But yeah, I remember him though. Anyway, so point of the matter is, she keep on saying that a mutual friend was the person who set them up. And I'm like, the mutual friend, okay, that must be Andy Cohen. But she was like, the person told her that he was like in his 30s, but he actually, when she met him, he was like 28 and now he's 29. So he's like, you minus a few numbers, 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, you minus a little bit of numbers, then that means that he was pretty much half her age. And her daughter did kind of mention that to her when they had like a little sit down chat. Her daughter was like, you know, it would probably more socially be accepted if I were to date him as opposed to you. And, you know, even when she had the date with him, she was kind of thinking like, dang, well, I wonder how old your father is, you know, because that would probably be a little bit more on her age line. But at the end of the day, I feel like it's all about how somebody treats you and stuff like that. And I do kind of feel like Cynthia thinks a lot about what other people have to say. And that can definitely kind of persuade her in what direction she wants to go in based upon what other people say from what we've seen of her in the past. And I mean, I also feel like, do you, boo? If you really want to be with him, then do it. You know what I'm saying? He's got some money, he got some jobs or whatever. So, I mean, I think he's doing okay for himself. But she was just like, nah, she don't want to go there. I mean, maybe she got a little goodies, but as far as having a relationship, nah, it's not going to happen. But he did make like a nice little romantic setup for her and everything, which was cool, but she ain't really trying to go there. So Sharee, she mentions that she's been holding a lot of emotional baggage. She sees a life coach who kind of gives her some advice. I guess a life coach is, you know, a lot cheaper than a psychiatrist or a psychologist or whatever. So she went that route. And he does mention that he saw the whole, like, they talk a little bit about what went out or came out about her and her ex-husband and how he used to abuse her and things like that. And she's been holding on to this for like over a decade or whatever. So he did ask her, what did she tell her kids about this? And she was like, to be honest, she ain't really talked to them about it. It's just kind of been like, she doesn't know what to say, so don't say anything, you know? And that's kind of the way she's been living. But he says that she should probably practice with like maybe her friends or something, what she's going to talk to them about and just kind of have a conversation with them. So she did practice with Candy and a few of her other close friends. And one part that I did like that they kind of role played, because Candy was the one who kind of did the acting, and initially one of the friends was like, and just kind of like playing devil's advocate as though she was one of the kids, like, oh, but daddy, he jokes all the time. What's so bad about that? That's not abuse. And Sharee kind of cut in and was like, it's all about how you do it. And there's ways that you tear people down. And that's so true. I feel like with relationships, with friendships, that is definitely something that is, that's true. And a lot of people just be like, well, that's the way somebody is, or I'm used to it. So they allow it. I've known people like that where they just like, they're funny, but their funny is tearing you down or hurting you and just making you feel like less of a person. And I don't think that any friendship or relationship should be like that. And a lot of times you're just like, oh, well, that's how he is or that's how she is. And you allow it to keep on going. And they're going to always be that way. You're going to always be the one taking the back end of the stick, you know? And so it comes a time where you do need to put your foot down and not let people treat you that way, and take control of your life and how you want to feel or be treated by somebody. So Kenya, she finally shows some of her wedding pictures to us. Her dress was pretty. She was out on the beach. Like, she just had, it seemed like it was like a very blissful, like, just amazing day that she had with her husband. And she mentioned that he's from, or his businesses are in Brooklyn. She met him through Chef RHOA, which I remember I saw Chef RHOA on a show, like a reality show, few years ago. And this guy is like a business owner. He has businesses, he invests, so he's doing pretty well for himself. So I guess she got a winner compared to the guy that she had before. Like, that guy, she was trying to make him. This one is already self-made. So, but she says that there are things that are going down as far as like, now he's in the public eye and people are trying to like send him stuff, like his exes are sending him stuff about her with certain people from years ago and just trying to already like ruin their whole relationship. And she's like, she doesn't want to be headed towards divorce. She wants to have a good marriage. They're definitely trying to make it work because everything for her is in Atlanta and everything for him is in New York. So it is a little bit of a long distance relationship. But I guess they're so much in love that they don't care. I'm like, dang, girl, you couldn't find nobody closer? Like, when do you guys even get some nookie or some time together? Like, y'all probably be doing a whole lot of flying, honey. Porsha, she says that now she's a baby vegan, okay? And I'm just like, girl, please. I mean, if that's what we're going to say, I guess most of us can say that we're baby vegans. Because she said she used to love her some meat. She's throwing away her Baconator. She's just like, I'm like, girl, no. Her and her sister talking about how meat is the devil or it's not good for you. And I'm just like, here we go. And she's like, she was asleep, but now she woke. And I'm just like, well, I guess I'm still sleeping because I don't really eat too much meat. I'm not even going to front. And I know it does kind of affect me, like, as far as my health and my fibroids and things like that. So I don't really try to mess with too much meat, although it is good for my low iron. So it's a catch-22 for me. But as far as like chicken, as long as chicken is good and it's fresh, I'm gonna be eating me some chicken. Like, so I could never say that I'm a vegan or vegetarian unless they have something that you want to say in between the two. I mean, if you want to call me gluten-free, soy-free, corn-free, then hey, you know, I'll raise my hand for that. But as far as that whole vegan stuff, like, I'm just not with the trend. And I don't even do things for trends. I do things only because of my health. Like, if I feel like it's going to make me feel better, then I'll do it. But as far as me, oh, they said that this and that, I don't even want to watch any of those documentaries and that other crap, because I ain't trying to get my brain all brainwashed. I don't care. I just don't want to know. Because I have a whole lot of family members that have been eating that same nasty meat and they live to see their 80s. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of the stuff that's happening now that's messing us up on all them fast foods and stuff. Anyways, that's a whole nother topic, boo. Noelle, she's moving. I think she's moving away. I don't know where she said she's moving. Did she say Charlotte or Atlanta? She said she's moving somewhere. And she has a boyfriend. She's out of school now. I'm like, damn, time flies. Like, I remember when she was just a little girl. And now she done grown up. She out of school and everything, doing her own thing. So, yeah, it's official. Like, Cynthia dead about to be living by herself. And it's like when Noelle goes to see her boyfriend, drives away, it's like she's left there by herself, you know? And Cynthia did, like I said, she told Noelle about the date and everything. She was just like, no, Mom. And I'm like, well, you know, don't put all your coins into your daughter's bag. I mean, because your daughter's happy, I'm pretty sure. So don't let her persuade you into saying, or, you know, try to mess you up and make you feel like you ain't good enough to have this guy or whatever, or you too old, because you don't even really look like you 50 at the end of the day. She looked like she's like in her 30s, 40s, you know? So I wouldn't see anything really too bad unless you start looking at birth certificates, you know? I mean, at least give the guy a chance, like hang out with him. At least he's a companion, you know? He's somebody that you can hang out with, because I'm pretty sure them lakesides get really lonely. I mean, just looking at the water, you can only do that but oh so much, and that's a big house. So Shamia is getting married in Africa, honey. I think she said, did she say Kenya? I think she said Kenya. Yes, and Candy is going to be going to the wedding. The wedding's a little pricey, but Candy is going to be going. They got a really good relationship over time, and you know, they're wearing their, I don't know if it would be called Ankara fashion or if Ankara is just for Nigeria. I'm not really too sure, too familiar, but yeah, they wearing the African print clothes to the wedding. They was looking for some clothes. They also have like a bridal brunch, or I don't even know what it's called. I think it's like a bridal brunch. I mean, they had on their high hats and stuff. So they have some little erotic games, doing some stuff with some wieners, and who ended up winning? Sharee ended up winning. I mean, they pretty much had like a nice little time. It was a little awkward for Candy and Porsha again. The thing that was kind of messed up about the whole situation is that Shamia chose that time to kind of call Porsha out. And Porsha was feeling some type of way about it. And her sister was there as well. And while Porsha tried to say that the reason why she's not going is because of her medical condition, where she has low blood pressure. And I know that definitely being on a plane, especially a plane ride from here to Africa, I forgot how many hours it is, but I'm pretty sure it's a long time, you know, because I remember somebody I knew was supposed to get married in Africa, and they were saying like how much money it was. It's really expensive, and on top of that, it takes a long time to get there. So I mean, if you do have, and we know that she had some type of health issue, but it was funny because, I mean, it wasn't funny, but Carmen and Candy was laughing along with Carmen, who was saying all these things like, oh, she got a doctor's note for everything. Because she was saying, oh, she can't go because, you know, her doctor said this and her doctor said that. And she used the doctor excuse before. So Carmen was all like, oh, yeah, she can't keep her legs down for too long because her legs is used to being up. Like, everything you're saying, we can hear you. You have a microphone on, and that's like messed up that somebody's talking about their health and you're like saying all these messed up things. I mean, yeah, it was funny or whatever for the moment, but it's still messed up at the end of the day, you know? So yeah, and when they got outside, Shamea and Porsha were talking, and you could tell Porsha was embarrassed. She was hurt. She felt like she was kind of set up by Shamea because Shamea just kind of put her out there in front of people that she don't even really mess with like that. So it's like, why would you say all those things? Like, I thought we was past this, because Shamea was all saying like, you're supposed to be at my wedding, and I'm surprised that you even came to the dowry, and you was actually part of it. And she's like, I have a spot for you in Kenya for you to be in the wedding. Like, you're supposed to drop everything and you're supposed to be there, like, regardless of anything. And it just feels like you don't want to be there. And she's like, and they were saying that how she travels everywhere, she does what she wants to do. But then when it's coming to something like that, like, she's making up excuses. So they more so feel like she's just making up excuses because she just don't want to spend the money. I mean, because it's like 10 G's. So Shamea just feels like she's being shaded. Like, she's just not trying to go. She don't want to spend that money because she feels like she's not that important for her to spend that money on. I mean, I see all sides of the spectrum, because I mean, 10 G's is a lot of money to go for somebody's wedding. I mean, am I going to be in the wedding? Are you trying to, like, you know, are you going to put me in the wedding? Usually when you have destination weddings, you get some kind of discounts for the people or something, you know? So, I mean, yeah, she's not poor, but still, that's a lot to be dropping, you know? And then if you don't really care that much about going because you're not in the best space, it's like, damn, do I really want to spend this $10,000? You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't want to say that to the person because you don't want to hurt their feelings. But that probably is part of it too. Who knows, right? But yeah, that's pretty much how the episode went down. Let me know what you guys thought about the episode. You know, thanks for watching. Check out the other channel. Stay fabulous, live free, and soar limitless. I'll see you in the next one. Later.